Medical professionals, architects, engineers, pharmacists, nurses, highly respected professions. And despite their many differences, they all had one thing in common. They all had a teacher. You see, teachers are some of the most influential people that we will ever meet in life. We all could probably remember that one teacher in high school, middle school, elementary school that really touched us. Yet, why aren't teachers a highly revered profession amongst all those that I named? And that has me asking 3 questions that I'm going to cover today. Is teaching a fulfilling profession? Are teachers respected enough? And what is the future of teaching? My name is Marcel, and I thank you for joining today. Let's talk about it. Thank you so much for joining today. My name is Marcel, one half of the dynamic duo of Jamila Marcel. If you are not subscribed to either one of those channels, please consider subscribing to this channel as well as my couples channel that I have my wife, Jamila Marcel. You can also find this podcast on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, in case you want to take me along with a road trip. To give you a quick background, if this is your first time ever landing on my channel, my name is Marcel and I am a teacher. I'm currently in my 8th year of teaching. I teach high school science, specifically biology. And when I got into the profession, it didn't take me long to realize the drama that exists within the teaching world. And that's what inspired me to start this video today. Let's go ahead and dive straight into it. Very first question, do I feel fulfilled as a teacher? To answer that question, just quick, short, and hurry, yes, I do. Teaching is a very rewarding career, in my opinion. I have the opportunity to touch the lives of many kids. I've taught over 3,000 kids in my short 8-year span of being a teacher. And I can honestly say that I know single-handedly that students have come up to me and told me specifically, Mr. Smith, you have literally inspired me to pursue a career in science. If that is becoming a doctor, that's becoming a marine biologist. I have literally single-handedly sent students to college to pursue a career in science. I have literally helped kids get into school with their ACT score saying, Mr. Smith, what we have done in class, you made the ACT science portion so much easier to understand because of the formulas and things that we worked on in class. There are so many students I still have a relationship with this day who are now graduated, no longer at the high school that I teach. And I walk past them in the streets, I walk past them in the gym, and they instantly run up to me and say, Mrs. Smith, how's everything been? How's your wife? And it just so makes me feel so good to know that I had a positive impact. Because I know when I was a kid and I would walk by like a teacher in public, I'll try to turn face and try to get up out of there so they wouldn't see me. But that's not the case with me. But I know the influence that I have on my students, especially as being a male Black teacher teaching science, honestly is not really even heard of that often. I've never had a male Black science teacher growing up in school. And it's really, really cool when I see students coming to my class and how they respond to me and how I deliver my material. And that brings me to why exactly did I get into teaching? Me, I love working with kids. I really like kids. Even when I was in high school, I used to do summer camp counseling. And then when I became a college graduate and I was in between going from my bachelor years to my graduate years, I then became a gym coordinator and I hosted a lot of events with students or younger kids. And I just really like working with kids. So I literally took my 2 passions. I like working with kids. I like science. I put the 2 together. I had my degree in biology because I originally wanted to do physical therapy. But then I realized that physical therapy is not necessarily for me. It was actually more boring and I was trying to chase it because of the money. But overall, I said, you know what, let me go back to my initial dream of becoming a teacher. And here I am today. The most important thing to me as being a teacher is building relationships. Without any relationship on any professional level, it's nothing. Relationships matter to me, and that's what's most important. Do I feel respected as a teacher? It varies. Yes and no. You see, during the pandemic, I feel like a lot of people's eyes were opened because they realized that when everything shut down and the parents had to take responsibility for the kids being at home doing their work, they saw that just simply getting 1 student or 2 or 3, how many kids or siblings people might have had, they saw the challenge of getting people to do their work. It's very, very hard. So imagine having a teacher that not only gets your child to do their work, but also have to teach them how to do the work and also review and remediate and personalize their learning plan just for them to understand the content that they're being taught. And I feel like the respect level for teachers shot tremendously up. Like our love exponentially grew for a quick period of time. But then when the summer ended, I feel like all of that respect just kind of just diminished right back to its original point. And we started getting called, from superheroes to being selfish. And when we were just simply concerned about our own health, and parents were like, no, I need these kids out of the house. And I feel like our respect for our profession was back to being taken for granted. And it's more so like get back to work. And I think it also still varies with a lot of parents. A lot of parents, I feel, just see us as, you're just a babysitter for my child while they're at school. And I know a lot of people don't feel like that, but from my interactions that I've had with parents in the past, it does make me feel like that. Now, there are some people that see teachers as a super highly respected profession and they understand the impact that we have, but that's not everyone. Everyone knows that teachers could be paid a little bit better. It's no secret that teachers probably don't make enough money as we deserve, because teaching is not an easy profession. And I want to break that down with you all personally, from a teacher to a viewer who might be a non-teacher. You see, I have my master's degree. I graduated from Georgia State with my middle and secondary science education degree, specifically, again, a master's degree. Now, let's break this down. If you were to go to Google and look at what is the average pay scale for a teacher in Georgia with their master's degree, you will see that it ranges anywhere between $70,000 to about $81,000, $82,000 annually. What about the start pay? If you were to go to Google and type up the following counties: Fulton County, DeKalb County, Gwinnett County, and even Clayton County schools, you see that Fulton County, if you have your master's degree, it's going to start you around $57,000 a year. Clayton County, $55,000 a year. DeKalb County, $56,000 a year. Gwinnett County, $57,000 for the starting pay. So we see a range between $55,000 to $57,000 as a first year teacher. But if we were to compare other professionals with their starting salary, we know there's going to be much more different. Per statistic, other professionals start at a range between $71,000 to $85,000 a year as a starting salary. So we're talking about a good $13,000 to $14,000 difference in the starting pay. And keep in mind that teachers are paid upon a system. How many years of experience do you have? And what is your degree? And if you go down the line, you will see that teachers with a master's degree would not hit that range between $71,000 to about $81,000 until they're about their 15th to 18th year of teaching. Meanwhile, people who are coming fresh out of college are hitting at their very first year. That is a major problem. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of people that's going to say, well, you know what? Teachers, they get paid for free over the summer. Let's go ahead and kill that myth and misconception right here, right now. Teachers do not get paid for free just to live at home for free. That's not how it works. You see, the way that our contract is set up is a 190-day contract. If you switch that 190 days down, that'll take you roughly to about a 10-month period. A lot of counties, like the county that I work in, as well as my wife's county, they don't give us the 10-month option. They spread it out from 10 months to 12 months, so you are covered while you're not working. So no, teachers are not getting paid for free over the summer. That is literally back pay from working where I live at from August to May. And then if you live up north, that's more of a September to June conversation. And I would like to also reiterate that teaching literally is a non-stop job. Like, you literally, as a teacher, you have to always be at the planning level. Even if you are an expert teacher, which I'm considering myself at this point in my career, I'm literally every single night, I'm still on my computer, not last minute work, just making sure everything is fine tuned, because the kids, regardless if you are ready or not, they are at your door the next morning at 8 o'clock. You have to be ready. And that means that you are working after work. That means that you're also probably taking your personal time to do some work over the weekend to make sure that your students are going to be properly prepared Monday through Friday. Now, I know that there are other professionals that have that same issue to where they are working after work, but the slight difference between teachers and other professionals is that a lot of other professionals get paid overtime. Teachers do not get paid overtime. We literally get paid for the contractual hours. And despite if we want to continue working after those contractual hours to make sure that a Tuesday is ready in advance, we do not get paid for those hours. If we're doing tutorial after school, at least for my county and my school, because it's not a Title I school, I do not get paid for doing tutorial after school beyond my contractual hours. There are not a lot of professions that make you work beyond the work hours of your contract and not give you overtime. And speaking of overtime and getting paid bonus money, teachers are also not up for bonuses. We do not experience bonuses. So no matter how great of a teacher you are, and no matter the level of progress that you push your students, no matter what you are doing in the school, you are not going to get a performance-based bonus, where a lot of professions do. So that means that you could be the greatest teacher on earth, but as long as you have another teacher in your building that is way beyond you teaching level wise, say a year 5 to like a year 18, it doesn't matter. They're going to get paid more money than you. Regardless of how much better you might be as a teacher than them, you are not going to get paid more than that teacher simply because of the fact that they have been working longer than you. And I feel like that's personally messed up. And this all boils down to the bottom line of respect. I feel that teachers are not respected enough because people don't truly know exactly what teachers have to go through every single day. You know, you hear teacher and you think, okay, they're going to teach math, they're going to teach science, they're going to teach literature, they're going to teach whatever their content is. But being a teacher is so much more than that. We are at times responsible for being a child's tutor, being a child's counselor, being a child's friend, being a child's teacher, being a positive role model. It's like we have to juggle so many hats at once. And we took all of those things just to compartmentalize. It just makes you a teacher. And I remember during the pandemic, there was this new wave of what was called social emotional learning, which was SELs. And it was very uncomfortable for me to do it because it felt like counselor's work. We would literally show students videos every single day on how to manage their emotions, how to identify negative and positive feelings. And it was even times that we talked about, you know, self-harm. I've been in positions at school where I've had to send students escorted to the nurse, to the counselor's office, because I saw that they were causing self-harm to themselves. Not to go into the details on this video, but kids go through those type of things. And me personally, I did not feel comfortable during the pandemic doing that because I'm not a certified counselor. And I felt like that was another responsibility given to me as a teacher that was outside the realm of teaching. So if I were to tie that back into pay, what other profession do you know where people are doing work outside of their normal criteria and they're not monetarily compensated for it? It's a lot to be a teacher, and a lot of people are very unaware about it. But on the positive side, there are other professionals and other parents that get it. And I really appreciate my parents out there that send out thank you cards during the holidays, send out random emails saying, hey, my child really loves your class. Thank you for the hard work that you're doing. Thank you for consistently monitoring and updating the grade book. People who actually show appreciation. I really do love you all, and I appreciate you all for the love that you constantly show on a daily basis. So bottom line, to close this section out, I feel that teachers are respected, but we're not respected enough. And I would love to see that level of appreciation go up for teachers, because our jobs are not easy. And I don't believe that we're fairly monetarily compensated for it. Because you see, me, teaching was not a backup career for me, right? I know that I stated earlier that I wanted to be a PT, but that's because I wanted to chase the money. But I realized that chasing the money would probably lead me to a future of boredom, and I went back to my original dream, which is teaching. This is not a backup career for me. Relationships matter, and interacting with kids on the positive side and showing them being a positive role model is very important for me to do. So teaching is not backup career for me. I'm in here for the long run. I'm here to teach for the foreseeable future. Last point is, what about the future of teaching? As I just stated, I see me teaching way beyond my 8th year. As long as God has me in this profession, I'm going to be here for the long run, impacting these kids on a positive note. But that's not the case for everyone. If you were to go to the Georgia Department of Education, georgia.doe, on their website, you will see that the turnover rate for first-year teachers is very, very high. They released a statistic after last school year that stated that 44% of new hires quit by their 5th year. That is a very high. We're talking about almost 50% of the teachers hired do not make it to their 5th year. We just recently had a teacher on our staff quit after their second year of teaching. The teacher turnover rate is very high. Why? It's a stressful position. It has unrealistic expectations. You don't get paid well for it. It's a lot of teachers like myself who have to constantly work summer school or pick up other stipends, do extra work just so I can kind of break even with other people who have a similar background of education to me. And that's not okay. But I feel like, me personally, for people who find the positive and the beauty behind the craft of teaching and the relationship that you get to build, I feel like that is all what is encouraging for me. I look forward to going to work every single day because I really love my job. Like, I really love teaching. And sometimes people lose their love for teaching because, again, the job is stressful and we honestly don't get fairly compensated for it. So in conclusion, teaching is not an easy profession, but it is very rewarding if you get to tap a little bit more into that positive side. Don't get into teaching just thinking because you're gonna have off free holidays, you're gonna get off the summer, because those 10 months, those 190 days that you work, it's gonna be a grind. It's gonna be a lot of unnecessary things that you're gonna have to be put through just to say that you made it to the end of the school year. It's not easy. That's why teachers need those 2 months off. That's why students need 2 months off, because the school year is not easy. It's very hard. It's very challenging if you're doing it right. And remember, you really don't get paid for that holiday time anyway, or the summer. You just get paid for that back pay for the time that you did work. And to my parents and other professionals of the world, please make sure that you empathize with your teacher friends. Understand that their lives are stressful. We are going to complain a lot because we feel undervalued and underappreciated. We love our jobs. We love what we do. We take our craft seriously, but sometimes the world looks down upon us, or is not as a highly respected profession as other professionals that I listed in this video. Yet we have as equal importance, and some might argue more importance, because our impact on students, no matter what age, is immeasurable, and it's always going to last. It's going to last a lifetime. I remember my favorite teachers, and they still have an impact on me today. And they actually are part of my blueprint of who I am today as a teacher. So appreciate your teachers more. I thank you all for watching. And this is my first week of my weekly rant, and I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe, come back for more. We'll talk more next week. Peace.